The first time I noticed something strange about my shadow, I was 9 years old. I had been running along the cracked pavement outside my grandmother's house when I tripped and scraped my knee. I cried loudly, but when I looked down, I saw my shadow wasn't crying with me. It stood still, upright, arms folded across its chest like it had been waiting for me to notice. I blinked. Then it copied me again, kneeling in the dirt, hand on my knee. I told myself it was just my imagination, and for years, I managed to believe that. I'm 23 now. The world has settled into a gray routine of classes, jobs, and endless deadlines. Most nights I fall asleep hunched over my desk, my lamp painting my shadow long against the wall. Lately, though, it hasn't been moving quite right. Sometimes it lags behind, as though it's tired of following me. Other times, it's too quick, gesturing before I do, like it already knows my thoughts. I ignored it until last week when, while brushing my teeth, I watched in the mirror as my shadow reached out a hand to touch my shoulder. I felt nothing, but the sight chilled me. That night, I dreamed of a door. It was tall, carved with spirals and faint symbols I didn't recognize. Light spilled out from its cracks, and my shadow stood in front of it. "You've been ignoring me," it whispered, its voice both mine and not mine. "But every shadow hides a story. And you've never asked what mine is." When I woke, I was shaking. I kept the lamp on for the rest of the night. The next evening, I made a decision. I stood in the middle of my apartment with only a single candle burning. My shadow stretched across the floor, twitching faintly as though excited. "Fine," I said, my throat dry. "Tell me your story." At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the shadow rippled, peeling away from the floor like liquid smoke. It rose until it stood before me, a figure of darkness shaped like me but older, heavier, as though burdened by time. "You think I am nothing but your echo," it said, its voice resonant. "But I am more. I carry the weight of everything you forget, every secret you bury, every choice you never dared to make." I backed up until my shoulders hit the wall. "Why now?" "Because you're drowning in silence. You no longer remember who you are. You've let your story slip away, but it tapped its chest, where its heart would be. I've kept it safe." The room shifted. Darkness spread from my shadow's feet, swallowing the floor until I was standing in a vast plain of gray mist. Shapes flickered in the haze, scenes from my past. There was my grandmother humming while she stitched quilts, the warm smell of cinnamon in her kitchen. There was the friend I lost in high school after a cruel argument we never mended. There were moments of laughter, grief, joy, regret. Every forgotten corner of my life displayed before me. And not just mine. The mist deepened, revealing faces I didn't recognize, men in tattered coats, women clutching letters, children running through fields I had never seen. Their shadows lingered close, whispering. "The stories beneath me," my shadow answered. "I do not only carry you. Shadows are older than light. We remember every life that has passed into darkness. Each of us holds fragments of their stories." The realization crashed over me. "Then, you're alive." The shadow tilted its head. "Alive enough. I am memory made flesh. I am every truth you've turned away from." A figure stepped out of the mist, a boy with bright eyes, no older than 10. He looked like me, but younger. My childhood self. He smiled sadly. "You promised once to be a writer. To tell stories. But you stopped listening." The weight of his words pierced me. He was right. I had silenced my dreams, burying them under practicality, deadlines, and the constant need to survive. Because your story is not finished, it said. But it will end in silence if you keep forgetting. Write. Speak. Remember. Let the world know the stories I carry for you. When the mist cleared, I was back in my apartment, knees trembling, the candle flickering low. My shadow lay at my feet again, perfectly ordinary, perfectly still. The next morning, I pulled out the dusty notebook from under my bed. Its pages were blank, untouched for years. With shaking hands, I began to write, not just my story, but the fragments my shadow had shown me, the forgotten laughter of children long gone, the sorrow of strangers who had no one left to remember them, the secrets hidden in every shade. The words poured out like a flood. For days, I wrote until my hand cramped and my eyes burned. And every night, when I blew out the lamp, I felt my shadow move just slightly, as though nodding in approval. Weeks later, as autumn winds rattled the windows, I finished the final page. I signed my name beneath the last line, then set down the pen. The silence of the room felt different now, not heavy, not suffocating, but full. My story had weight again. When I looked at the wall, my shadow stood tall and steady. For the first time, I thought I saw it smile. Every shadow hides a story, it whispered. And now, so do you.